Good morning, communication students. Welcome to Module 7. This module we will start working on Speech 2 in earnest because we are now 7 weeks into this semester, and it will be important that we are ready to deliver this speech no later than November 3rd. We're going to start rolling, so I know that we had a little bit of time between developing Speech 1 and our delivery, but we are picking up the pace a little bit. So the assignment this week is to review the audience analysis survey. So if you have not completed it yet, please get it in as soon as possible so that I can tally the results, and they will be available no later than noon tomorrow on Tuesday. So you guys asked such good questions, so I'm hoping that the data really does help us develop the best topics for the class. So Speech 2 is all about doing two things. One is telling your audience or convincing us or persuading us that we really need to know about your topic. So the survey is supposed to help get a really good grasp on your audience. You'll have demographics, so age and education and employment and those types of things. But you'll also have all these other cool things that you asked, which is about relationships with God and what you're hoping to get out of your education, and an emotional assessment of the class about what would you do if someone was sitting next to you crying on a park bench, right? So through all of this, you have a great snapshot of the class. And the goal of Speech 2 is to, one, pick a topic that you think we need to know about. So maybe it's really, really important for this class to know that online education is all about, your own self-discipline and what you put into it. Okay, you've decided this class needs to know that, right? Because we're doing a good chunk of your degree online, right? So then it's, okay, well, why do we need to know that? Okay, we are an online class. You're going to have very different experiences online depending on the instructor, right? And you need to learn how to adjust to that. And 3, we are still, online still has a stigma, and you need to make sure you're getting the most out of your education to overcome that stigma. Okay, so those are 3 reasons why this audience needs to know about how to get the most out of your online education. The second piece then is, all right, well, what do we need to know? As you've now convinced us 3 good reasons why we need to know this. Now, what is the essential information that we need to know about this? And by essential information, I mean, what are those, like, if I said, okay, Nick or whomever, tell me about how to get the most out of my online education. This is the moment when you say, okay, well, number 1, you really need to know about how to gauge your instructor and maximize your relationship with them. Okay, that's number 1, great. 2 is that you really need to decide, assess how the material is being delivered and your goals for what you want to get out of the material. So if you were in a persuasive communications class, it's looking at the book and the syllabus and some of the assignments that are there and deciding, okay, I'm going to set my own goals with what I most want to get out of this course, and if I'm not receiving that from the instruction or delivery of content, I'm going to try to figure that out. So maybe it's assessing online content. And then maybe the third thing that you think we really, really need to know about getting the most out of your online education is that you need to make sure you've retained the information from all of your classes. So how are you going to do that? We don't have notes and books and other things that you would have in a face-to-face class. How are you going to store material so that you remember what you've done, and if Moodle is no longer available to you? Okay? So what you've done at that point is tells us the 3 reasons why we need to know about how to get the most out of our education, our online education, and then shift it over to, and here's some essential information on how to do that. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. It's a 2-part speech. The first part really should be tailored around, you need to know this, and the second part should really be tailored around, and this is what you need to know. Okay? So there's a 2-part activity this week. It's a research. It's getting you going on your research for this speech, because you will need, I asked for 4 credible sources. And the second part is actually outlining what it is that you're going to talk about. So I want you to have a really, really good solid outline by next Monday at this time, so that we can just work on delivery of it by November 3rd. Okay? So if it's confusing at all to you, feel free to ask questions, see what your peers are doing, ask things about on the all-night cafe. And then the only other piece for this week is that I would like you to look at your peers' delivery of Shel Silverstein. I saw 3 are up right now, so I'm hoping that number will increase a little bit. So 3 of those are up, and you've been assigned groups, so you need to do 2 peers. And I've asked you, 1, to talk to your peer about what do you think the primary emotion was. 2, what did they do to deliver that? Were they using hand gestures, facial expressions? How well did they memorize it, right? How was the delivery? And 3, how could the delivery been enhanced? So giving them some idea of what further they could do to help with their delivery. And then the third piece of this week is make sure that you've talked to me in your phone conference. So Sienna and Miranda and Cassandra, totally not your fault. Friday got away from me. So we will reschedule those. I'll double check so we can do that. And you all will get credit if you talk to me on the phone. You will get the points for that. So I'll upload those into my grades right now. And speaking of grades, this is a good time to make sure that you, number 1, have completed the assignments in the class. And if you have not, you're working on some makeup work and you've communicated with me. And to make sure that the grades that are in there are accurate and up to date. So I'm asking you this week to also review your grades. Okay, so I look forward to looking at your Shel Silverstein. I definitely look forward to looking at the survey results, compiling those, and getting those out to you by noon tomorrow, so that you can then let us know what you think we most need to know about. Okay? So send questions my way. You're doing really great. We're in week 7. We have 5 more weeks left, and we are hoping to get through this speech, 1 more, and then our final speech. You get to choose any of those first speeches to expand and deliver on. So we'll see how far we get. All right, have a great Monday and a great week, and I look forward to seeing what you all did. All right, thanks all.